earthquake activity along a subduction plate boundary and magmatic material moving from depth up through the cracks that occur along that boundary.
Oh, okay. So anytime you have this activity, if you like, because what you have is really molten lava, right? Just kind of swooshing around below the ground, and that is what causes the movement in the earth. When we have a caller, so let's bring in the caller. I'm sure this individual has a question for you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Fontaine. Good morning, Wayne.
Wayne, are you able to hear?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we need to understand why is it that Dominica has been having large volume eruptions, and I would like Wayne to touch upon the fact that to explain the subduction zone and to explain why when we have eruptions we have dome building volcanoes rather than just magma flowing along. Good morning.
Okay, that's an excellent question. Thank you. Yes, Wayne?
Hello. I did not hear the question.
Is that you're not able to hear him, or you just did not hear what he asked? Sorry?
I'm not hearing the question.
Oh, you're not hearing the question, but are you able to hear the caller though? Are you able to hear the caller?
I did not hear the caller.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me rephrase the question then. He was asking you to explain the subjunction zone and why it is that in Dominica we don't only have, when there is an eruption, it's not just lava flowing off the mountain, but we have this, material coming out of the mountain. The difference in these two types of eruptions and why it is that Dominica is susceptible to that type of volcano.
Well, the different types of volcanoes, and the volcanoes that are in Dominica are andesite volcanoes. They're different from the types of volcanoes you will see in Hawaii. And it's because of this the formation, the system is different. The way the volcanoes are formed are different. I wouldn't want to go into a long scientific explanation as to the composition of silica in the volcano and all that stuff. But in Dominica and Montpellier in Martinique and even I think the Soufriere in Guadeloupe and Montserrat, they are all similar volcanoes. So if we have a volcanic eruption in Dominica, most likely it will be that type of dome-forming eruption where you have very viscous lava, very thick lava pushing through the cracks in the earth, coming up to the top of coming up to the surface, and building something what we call a dome. Think of you taking a tube of toothpaste and squeezing it. You will find the toothpaste going to go up into the air, and then when it can no longer support its weight, it would crumble. And that's what happens with our type of volcanoes. And that's what we call you would call the dome would be the toothpaste coming through the top, and it would create a dome, and when that dome can no longer support its own weight, it would collapse and cause pyroclastic flows down the valleys or down the flanks of the volcano. So that's the type of volcanoes we have in Dominica, although you can have different types of eruption associated with those volcanoes, but most likely this is the predominant type of eruptions we're going to have with our volcanoes.
Thank you very much for this, Wayne. One of the things that I noticed, we have a caller, so I'll pause my question to allow the caller to Wayne. Good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Fontaine, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
We can hardly hear with you're in clean, sir.
Oh, you're not hearing him clearly.
We are hearing but like not clean,
It's okay. Okay, that's yeah.
We need to adjust, yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this. Wayne, I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to bring you into the studio. If you can make it this afternoon for Talk on the Block to continue that conversation.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, because the call is saying that it is not very clear, and we kind of the something. I mean, I can. Okay. What we can do, because we have only about 4 minutes left in any event on this, because we have another scheduled program at 8:30. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Mm-hmm.
Very good program.
Thank you.
I would like Mr. Wayne to tell me if the
volcanoes, are they connected? I hear people say that, for example, there's a system of volcanoes. So I would like to know if the volcanoes in Dominica, are they connected to the one in Montserrat and the one in Montserrat connected to somewhere else? Is that true?
Excellent. Wayne, the question for you is, are the volcanoes connected? Is there a system of volcanoes? For example, is the volcano in Martinique and Montserrat connected to the ones in Dominica?
So they're all independent systems. The only connection we may have is there was a new paper written a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, that seemed to suggest that the south of Dominica may not have different magma chambers, but may have something called a batholith, or an area of diffused magma set up. So it is just a suggestion because of the number of volcanoes that's in the south of Dominica. Actually, Dominica may have the highest concentration of volcanoes anywhere in the world per square mile. When you look at the south, especially the southern Dominica, we have 7 volcanoes in the south of Dominica, or actually the southern third of Dominica.
Yes, and when I'm being told that Roseau is the most dangerous place as well. But before you respond to that, let us take another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the hot seat. Okay. Good morning. Hello. Go ahead, please. Hello. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's Diram. I'm not really versed in nothing to do with volcano, but I just want to contribute something.
Mm-hmm.
It is the second time I am saying it, and my whole body is shivering. My child was 10 years old when he told me angel brought him down to the sea, and in Portsmouth, and there was a veil over a volcano, and the person spoke to him and told him that God is crying out on Dominica, that the 10 commandments, we should hold on to it, else we will get some that will never believe. It brought him up to Mount Micotrim, and it exploded there. And when my child got up, he was white as paper, and he said Carnival is something that God don't like. And you know where he was murdered? In Carnival. So I'm not really saying things to disrupt what we are trying to talk about, but we need to really think of how we live our daily lives and turn to God, because if volcano let go here in Dominica, we have problems. I had a dream that I saw. I went to drink water in the pipe. The pipe water was hot, and when I look, steam and fire and everything was falling down in Roseau, and houses was going down, and I run for my life until I don't even know where I end up. So I'm only telling Dominicans, the times are rough, but if we pray and we turn to God and the 10 commandments, we follow it, we will succeed. I have to say that because I'm shivering as I'm talking to you, and I need to give my child testimony. Good morning, Mr. Fonte. Bye-bye.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for sharing this. Listen, we are out of time on this segment, but we are going to be having Wayne back in studio this afternoon. We are going to try to connect with him again at 9 o'clock, at about 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:30. So we'll talk with him again, and we'll have him again, because there is so much that we need to discuss. We need to talk about concerning this very present hazard with regards to volcanoes and so we're going to do that. We have to cut away now because we have another program with the Ministry of Health where we're going to be discussing the Zika problem in Dominica, another critical area of discussion. So we'll be back with Wayne. Wayne, thank you very much. As I indicated, I will talk to you again at about just after 9 o'clock, and then we'll talk about this afternoon, okay, on Talk on the Block.
Bye-bye.
Sure, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Wayne. Appreciate it. All right. And thanks all listeners. Thanks to all of you who called. We are going to continue with Wayne later this afternoon as well at 9 o'clock. This very critical area of, earthquakes and volcanoes and just Dominica's susceptibility to these natural disasters. And we'll continue with that discussion on the hot seat. But we'll come back with a discussion with the Ministry of Health.
mercies towards humanity. Yeah, yeah. Won't you now give thanks and praises for His glory?
It is just about 27 before the hour of 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the Hot Seat. And we have with us in studio Dr. Mead. Dr. Mead is with the Ministry of Health. She's a specialist in internal medicine. But Dr. Mead is here to tell us all about what is going on with the Zika virus. And Dr. Mead, good morning and welcome to Q95. Okay, we'll continue with Dr. Mead in just a little bit. Okay, we are back with Dr. Mead. I was just indicating that Dr. Mead is a specialist in internal medicine and she's with the Ministry of Health, but she is here this morning to discuss with us and to bring as much information as possible to the public concerning the Zika virus. Good morning, Dr. Mead, and welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Fountain, and good morning to all our listeners.
Dr. Mead, it's great to have you, and thank you so much for coming in here to discuss this very critical health matter that is facing Dominica at this time. With regards to the, I consider an epidemic, is it getting worse? Is it contained? Where are we with regards to the status of the Zika virus in Dominica?
Okay, well, as we know, this virus is not necessarily considered as a new virus because it was first isolated in 1947. However, it was contained in the African countries and it has last year been able to be spread to the Americas. So yes, we do have Zika in Dominica. We have quite a few cases that have been confirmed in Dominica. We have patients who travel overseas and when they return home, they actually present with signs and symptoms of the Zika virus. We have visitors who come in and while they're here shortly after arriving on island, they present as well with signs and symptoms of Zika. So yes, we do have Zika. Actually, our first case of Zika was somebody who did not travel, right? Had no travel history of going anywhere where there's the Zika virus. So we know that, we've had visitors who come in, and we have Zika in Dominica for sure.
Dr. Mead, let's talk a little bit about the symptoms of Zika, because I have heard cases of individuals who simply get a small rash, and then I've heard the extreme case when an individual they actually lost the motor skills. Describe to us what we should be looking for with regards to the symptoms, the specific symptoms of the Zika virus.
Okay. The signs and symptoms, well, the first thing that we need to know about Zika is that this virus is, I guess, very treacherous in that every 5 patients who have the virus, only 1 or maybe 2 of them will actually have signs and symptoms, right? So you will have 5 people with the virus, and 4 out of the 5 will be walking around feeling fine. No rash, they might have a slight headache, a slight, ill feeling for a short while, and they'll think about, anything else other than Zika. So they'll attribute it to a hard day at work, not drinking enough water, a hot day in the sun. So the symptoms can be very, very vague, which is one extreme. So the other extreme is the patient who will come down with all or nearly all of the signs and symptoms. So there'll be headaches and rash, fever, high fevers, conjunctivitis or red eyes, as it's called, muscle pain, called myalgia, joint pain or arthralgia, to the extreme where some patients will get neurological symptoms, which is one of the complications of Zika virus. And not just Zika virus, but it's also a complication of other viruses. So the Zika virus can also be complicated with neurological symptoms, right? So there'll be weakness and tingling sensation, what we call the myasthenia gravis, or neurological symptoms.
Dr. Mead, in most cases, or in some cases where you have this type of viruses, if an individual gets it one time, they build some kind of immunity so that they're kind of protected from it. Can an individual get the virus more than once?
Okay, so in terms of the immunity, that we are not certain about yet. We don't know whether, because this virus, as I said, yes, it was around since 1947, but all the information just yet we don't have it, right? So we do not know whether somebody can have the virus one time and then still develop it after they've gotten over it, develop it a year later, or still be infected with it year later from now.
Because I know of at least one person who said they had it twice within a short space of time. So I was curious to find out whether that is in fact possible. I said it could be that one time it was not the Zika, but they said, well, it was the exact same symptoms that they had the first time: the rash, the headache, the feeling sick, and then they got over it, and a few weeks later they got beaten again, and they exhibited those same symptoms.
Okay, well, in a case like that, I think the best thing to have done would have been to get tested, right, the first time and the second time. But something that we have to be mindful of is that we also have dengue in Dominica, right? And the symptoms are very similar, very, very similar. In fact, I saw a patient once and I was convinced that this patient had Zika. And then we did the test for the dengue and the patient was actually dengue positive. So the symptoms are so similar that really and truly testing is what would be needed to better diagnose or to be able to, differentiate which virus that the patient has, because both dengue and Zika are very similar. And the neurological illness that the patient would have, it's called the Guillain-Barré syndrome. I think I said myasthenia at first, but no, it's Guillain-Barré.
Dr. Mead, I get the impression that many Dominicans who get the virus do not come to the hospital. I know of at least two cases where they said they exhibited signs. They probably went to the pharmacist and the pharmacist said, well, I think you have Zika, and that was enough for them. And they said there's no need to go to the hospital. What's the best practice? What would you like to encourage people who think they have the virus? What should they be doing?
You're asking me a very hard question. I think the best thing to do would be to get tested, right? We need to be able to know the amount of, the number of Dominicans who have contracted this virus. We need to be able to know what numbers that we're looking at. But because, as I said, some patients will either not think about it as Zika, or the symptoms will be so mild that they'll think, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and just forget about it, or not be too willing to go, to see a doctor because, it could be nothing. Really and truly, in my opinion, it is better to know than to just say, well, maybe it is.
Okay, thank you. Doctor, let's talk a bit more about the symptoms. There was one of the things that got people really scared about the Zika virus was, I don't know the legal name for it, but the thing where it seems to be that particularly for pregnant mothers, that they were developing, or they were having babies with very small heads. Can you tell us more about this particular aspect of the virus?
Okay, well, it's called microcephaly, and which is babies being born with the head circumference smaller than what it should be, right? So small head would actually indicate a smaller brain, and that would indicate delayed development, growth, right? The babies would not develop as they should. So yes, the Zika virus has been linked to microcephaly.
Now, I noticed that I've been following the debate very closely, especially as it relates to the Rio Olympics and Brazil being like a kind of a hotspot for Zika. And a very interesting study came out from the World Health Organization where it seems to indicate that if the mother gets the virus at a certain stage of a pregnancy, it is less likely to impact the baby. Is that a correct characterization? Because the impression was that if she gets the virus after, say, in the 5th month of pregnancy, that is okay. It's only if it is at the very early stages.
Yes, that's very correct.
Okay.
Contracting the virus in the first stages of development, in the first trimester, is actually more detrimental to the baby than further on during the pregnancy.
And also how difficult it is if you catch the virus and how long. So, for example, because one of the warnings we heard very early on was for particularly young people wanting to have children, was to try to avoid infection, because it seems to me that a year down the road or 2 years down the road, that could still impact them. Is that still the current thinking on this?
Contracting the virus in the first, before, I guess.
Yeah, but a significant time before, not during pregnancy. Right. We're talking about a perfectly healthy person, because they're saying if you're thinking of getting pregnant, do not get infected, because it seems to me that it could have an impact even a year removed from when you're infected.
The Zika virus has been isolated in the semen of men, right, up to 6 months after their infection. So actually between, the first 6 months after being diagnosed with the Zika virus, men are still able to pass on the virus to their partners through sexual encounters. So really and truly, abstinence up to 6 months or maybe up to 9 months would be safer to prevent the spread of the virus.
Yes, excellent. Okay, we have a caller on the overseas line who wants to, I suspect, ask a question of the doctor. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm Dr. Fountain, and good morning to the doctor in studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question to the doctor is, with her profession and what she sees throughout the years with what's going on with the chikungunya and the Zika, does she really think that it is the mosquito is the carrier for the chikungunya and the Zika? And if, where is the mosquito that carried the chikungunya before? What happened to them? And how comes that same mosquito it came back around carrying the Zika? Because, I'm very versed in what's going on in the world with the germ warfare by how people want to infect individual and the pharmaceutical. But she don't have to answer, but what I'm saying, try to help us out. Does she really think it's the mosquito is the one that's the culprit for carrying the disease, the virus? Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Okay.
Dr. Mead.
Okay, the information that we have is that it is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that is spreading the virus. I do not have any information about any sort of chemical or biological warfare. So the information that I can pass on to the listeners is that the virus is spread by the bite of the Aedes aegypti mosquito, right? So this virus has also been known to spread other viruses. We have the dengue, chikungunya. Yes, you may think, how come all of a sudden we had chikungunya and now all of a sudden we have Zika? All it takes is one person to get infected and to come into the island, or one person to go overseas, get the virus, and then come back home and spread the virus through mosquitoes.
Dr. Mead, explain to us the science of this infection, the way it is spread, in terms of, because I think what people tend to think is that this mosquito is so small. How could a thing that small cause that kind of damage? Okay. But it has to do with the multiplication of the virus. But can you explain that to all listeners?
Okay, so all it takes is one bite, and that's it. A mosquito will come, say I am infected with the Zika virus, it would bite me, and it would go and bite somebody else. Right now, that one person would get bitten, say, by 5 mosquitoes, or I could get bitten by 5 mosquitoes, and then you have 5 mosquitoes with the virus going out to bite 5 people, right? So
and the amount of blood they take from you is enough to carry this virus.
It is enough. It is enough, right? It is enough. So then, from these 5 people, if each of them get bitten by a mosquito, and the mosquito then goes or get bitten by 10 mosquitoes, and then these 10 mosquitoes go out, and that is 10 by 5, so that is 50 mosquitoes we have now flying in the country with the Zika virus. So then these 50 mosquitoes go out and bite 50 people, and then they get bitten, each of them get bitten by 2 or 3 more mosquitoes. That's 150, so it just multiplies. It just multiplies and multiplies, but all it takes is really 1 bite.
And my understanding is that once the mosquito injects that blood that it takes, say, from you to this new person, once it's in your bloodstream, that's where it multiplies the virus, right? It just has to be, okay, so that's how basically how it happens. So it does not mean that the mosquito has to carry all the blood. It carries the virus, and the virus then multiplies in your bloodstream once you're bitten.
Blood, and it gets multiplied.
Excellent. Because a lot of people say, well, it can't be the mosquito too small for that. So I just wanted to clarify.
No. The virus is very, very, very small. Right, much smaller than a mosquito. So with a drop of blood with the virus in it, that's all it takes.
Okay.
That is why it's so important, in terms of all the cleanup campaigns that we've had and people protecting themselves. So wearing long sleeve shirts, long pants, protecting yourself using mosquito repellents is just so important.
Okay. I have another caller. Good morning, caller. Thanks for your patience.
I say praises, thanks, blessings, glory to all those with humanity. Doc, blessings to your family, sir.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
And the Empress, Doc in the house, blessings to your family as well, my dear.
Good morning, thank you.
Okay, good morning there. I know there are a lot of things. That's not the way you have been taught. I listened to the first caller when he was asking you, when he made those comments, was not questions. But I know in this, everybody would want to shy away from it because it is too difficult. That's what we'll perceive, too much work. So don't bother with it. But I'm talking about the same biological warfare the brother talk about, but I'm not asking you to comment or answer to any of these things. Having to do, microbes have been used through the centuries, bacteriums and germ warfare and all of that, to really either in experimentation or extermination, to racial prejudice and all of that. My question is not the size of the mosquito. Is that rapid mutation, so to speak, or the multiplication of the capability of one mosquito? Dengue, Zika, dengue, the other one was not the
chikungunya.
Chikungunya, and now Zika. In less than no time, in that quick succession, how could that mosquito build up its capability so rapidly? And this still is not this one is a rhetorical question. But Doc, I am saying, having to do with chikungunya, with that kind of mutation and capability and multiple potential to spread different diseases by one mosquito, do you think we know enough about that mosquito to even be all that precise in disseminating the information which we know, and tomorrow something change? I'm listening. Thanks.
But Dr. Mead, thank you very much, caller. Dr. Mead, is it really the mosquito that's at fault? The mosquito is doing what it has always done, right? Which is to bite people and bite other people and transfer that blood. Is a question, I think what the caller is asking is in terms of the virus itself, but that's an unrelated thing, right?
Yes.
The virus is not necessarily related to the mosquito.
Exactly.
The virus is formed independent of the mosquito.
Yes.
And the mosquito simply does what it has always done all these thousands of years, bite people, bite somebody else,
and
right?
Pass it on.
And
It's
pass
a
it on.
vector. That's what it is. It's a vector.
Yeah.
Right. So the primary patient would have the virus, and the mosquito will come and bite them, and that's it. It then is being used as a vector to transmit the disease, the virus.
Okay, we have a few more callers who wants to weigh in. Okay, good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Thompson, and also good morning to the doctor in the house.
Good morning.
We are being told that the mosquito carries the disease. Where does the mosquito collect that disease from? We need to understand that it must be getting from somewhere. So so that he can be passing it on to the human being.
So, Cora, I guess you are talking about the initial when it just starts, right? It's usually in animals, right?
Yes.
It was isolated.
Because anytime those things are being spread or carried, they have to come from somewhere. So we would like to know exactly how did this mosquito found that disease and where it found that disease.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Dr. Min?
Okay, so this virus was first isolated from somebody who was in the Zika forest, right, in Uganda. But since then, the virus was isolated in the population surrounding this area, right? So it's possible that people traveled to the Zika forest, interacted with the people from the Zika forest, and the mosquito is there and is able to now bite the people who are infected from that region and get infected themselves. Now, because the world is no longer such a big place as we thought, because of ease at which people are able to be transported from one area to another. It's no longer by a boat and take 2 weeks before you reach you cross the transatlantic. No, it's a matter of minutes to get from one area to another. So it's simply that one person went to the Zika area, got infected, went back, and all it takes really, as I said, is just one bite.
But Doctor, I guess what the caller is asking is, what about this first? It must be a first person that this virus entered. Well, how could that have happened? Is it possible that it came through the soil, through an animal? How could that initial transmission take place? I think that's where the concern is. Like, how do you get the virus? Is it something that's in the air and then the person breathes in that forest and then he has it and then the mosquito gets to work?
No. It is from a living organism. It would be from an organism that would have had it. Most likely, I think it was isolated first in a monkey, right? So all it would take is one of the mosquitoes to bite this infected organism and then bite a human. It is not in the air. You cannot inhale it. You cannot get it from the soil. No, it is transmitted with the bite of the mosquito from one source that is infected to another living organism.
And then the mosquitoes get to work and it spreads all across the globe.
Exactly.
We have more callers. Good morning.
Mr. Thompson, morning.
Yes, good morning.
And morning to your guest.
Good morning.
One of the things I want to say, Mr. Thompson, is that the young lady, I feel for her. I respect her knowledge, but she can only tell me what they taught her. That's all. All what she's telling you is what they taught her. All of a sudden, right now, Africa have a Zika forest. So Africa is the most unique place. For every sickness, Africa have a forest or some kind of foundation where the sickness derived from. But I know for sure that these sicknesses actually are developed in labs.
How do you know that for sure? Have you looked at the genetic makeup of that virus to determine that?
Okay, number one example. You remember that sickness that was destroying Africa recently? The
Ebola.
That was developed in a lab by a white man. You want something? I forgot his name.
That sounds like a conspiracy theorist.
Right now, the white man is a professor of an institute in England. I'm telling you, it's a fact. I did the research on it. So I'm not going to sit back and blame a monkey in Africa. I'm not that stupid to the blaming a monkey or some forest. We need to rise up and understand. Even the chicken, the chicken pox and these things were created in lab, and most of the time they were created for chemical warfare, for and for them to actually subject their enemies for sickness quickly, and also to kill black people.
But caller, by looking at the genetic makeup of the virus, you can determine whether or not it is artificial or whether it came from a living organism. And they're saying that in that particular case, the Zika virus came from a living organism.
This is what I told you. You are telling me what they told you. Tell me what they did not tell you, my brother. Like I'm telling you what they did not tell you. That's the problem. You are telling me what they told you, but I'm telling you what they did not tell you. And the other problem is, this mosquito, They are blaming this mosquito. They are putting everything on this mosquito. This mosquito must be the most special mosquito on earth to just bring a sickness and run back and get another one and come back.
No, it's not. The mosquito has nothing to do with. Caller, thank you very much. But we explained that. Thank you. We appreciate your input. The mosquito has nothing to do with it, Doctor, as we said, right? The mosquito is simply the vector. It carries it does the transmission from person to person. It does not create the virus. And again, once the virus is in your bloodstream, it then multiplies. That is how you get sick.
I think the caller needs to be aware of a few things. One, I can only give you information that I have. Right, and the information that we have is from the CDC, from NIH, from these reputable organizations, right? The World Health Organization. These are the organizations that we receive our information from, and that's the information that I can disseminate to the public. There have been many theories. There have been these conspiracy theories. There have been these biological warfare theories, but we really don't know. What we do know, caller, is that Zika virus is here. It is in Dominica, and you need to protect yourself. You need to protect your family. I think trying to raise up an army is not what I'm about. I'm about, I guess, making sure that people remain healthy, and those who get sick, to help them to get back to a state of good health. So what I can tell you is the information that I have and ways to protect yourself and your family. So things like, as we said earlier, wearing long sleeve shirts, long sleeve pants, using mosquito repellents. And if you have someone who may be, if you know of anyone, a friend or family, who may have had or may have signs and symptoms of Zika, even if it's not confirmed, then you need to try to make sure that the person is sleeping under a mosquito net. Get them to see a doctor, a nurse, somebody who would be able to bring help to them. Right? That is the information that I can give you.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Let's take a few more of your calls. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Go ahead, please.
It's me again.
Yes.
I totally agree with the doctor that we need to take care of ourselves. But for us to really take good care of ourselves of those diseases, we need to understand the source of those diseases. When we get the real understanding of the source of those diseases, we can right here in our own country find the medication for those diseases. So we need to really get to know the source of those diseases. Because you talk about in the chikungunya jungle in Africa. How did it come about in the jungle in Africa? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Let's take a couple more of your calls. Good morning, rather. It's just about 9 a.m. Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. It's me again. I just want to ask the doctor, since she's been treating an individual with the chikungunya, the Zika, in the past, have she ever noticed anyone but the Dominicans that came with the symptom? Do you ever have come across a Chinese or white folks that came down with that? Because I've been asking that question. Why is it's only our black people that coming down with it? I'm not saying it cannot anybody else, but I'm just asking, did anybody else in Dominica, since you have a lot of Chinese, because I know our immune system is stronger than anybody else in the world, why is it's just us that it is attacking more than anybody else? And also, if you know about Dr. Sebi, a man that used to live right here in Port Michel, that was invited by a government official from since I was 14 years old, and right now he got and his family have the cure for AIDS. And why the world not talking about it? Why it's just a hush hush? Why they try to imprison him, to shut him up? So this is thing I want, doctor. I appreciate you all, being doctors, but I just want you all to be vigilant, open your eyes to what's going on in the world out there, because we gotta love and appreciate our people for the contribution we have do for the universe, for the world.
Okay.
And why is it we have been attacked consistently? Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. And Dr. whilst you ponder on a response to this, let me ask you a related question. Why is it that in the Dominica situation that the person who first showed the symptoms of the virus had never traveled? How is that possible? When is it Can you explain what was the theory, was the thinking around how it was that this individual first came down and had never been overseas?
Okay, so as I said earlier, the Zika virus, the signs and symptoms of it are very vague. They can be very vague from one extreme to the other, which is the complications of things like the Guillain-Barré syndrome. So as I said, 5 people may be infected with Zika virus, and only 1 or maybe 2 of them will actually show signs and symptoms. So it's very possible that a Dominican went overseas, got infected by the mosquito, came back home and was feeling fine, and it took 1 mosquito to bite this individual and then go on to bite the other people, and then this one person actually came down with signs and symptoms. Zika is not like chikungunya, because in chikungunya, the majority of the people actually got sick. With the Zika virus, less patients who have the virus will actually show signs and symptoms of it. So with 100 people, you can have 20 of them, of the 100 patients that we have, you could have 20 who are feeling sick, and the 80 of them are walking around feeling fine. Right.
Excellent. Thanks for this explanation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate what the effort that the doctor is making, because she's Dominican and she's genuine. But there's another school of thought. That reminds us that we are a people that have been attacked from ages and generations. The people of the world, look at what is happening to black people in America. They're targeting black men. So it's not our fault if we discover their own conspiracy theory against us. It's not something that is fun, but it's our responsibility to study the people who hate us the most. When we talk about people getting diseases, the people bring the disease in their boxes. There are scientists who come to Dominica, and they represent certain organizations, and nobody care to check them because they are authentic according to what the world accepts. So they come in with their disease, they spread it among us, and they walk out and they leave us to fight our own battles. We have to be conscious of not only of the education they give us, but the education we owe to ourselves to preserve ourselves from people who are basically jealous of us and our genetics. We are black people, God make us. It's not the devil that made black men, it's the creator. So there is that antichrist movement that just have a natural hatred and a fear for black people, and their whole life, some of them, their whole life is organized to keep us down. Bill Gates is a wealthy man. He's in Africa. And you know what Bill Gates said? The same system that has America 600 years ago, wealthy, is that same system he's going to promote. And you know where Bill Gates is now? He's in Africa doing charity. What kind of charity we're expecting from people like Bill Gates to black people? It's not a kind of charity to keep us down. So we black people have to have a responsibility for ourselves, take our education and bring it among ourselves and protect ourselves from the Antichrist movement. The Antichrist movement is a movement against black men. So we must be conscious of the other side that they don't give us in universities, because they'll not teach us their program. Their program is their hidden program against us. So, sister, my love, thank you for your energy, but be strong, because the movement now is to fight against the enemies of Africans. So you'll always come across voices like us, but we love you more because we are glad that you're educated. We're glad that you can educate us on your side, but be prepared to get other information from us, because that is what the Almighty made us to do, to stand up against the Antichrist. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. We appreciate it. Let's take another call. Good morning.
Good morning. The people who think differently as to the origin of the disease, like the gentleman who called a few callers prior to the last one, he was trying to challenge the doctor and tell the doctor that's what she learned. But what he was saying was nothing that he proved. It's something he learns the same way. And we have to learn to understand science is what drives the world and not propaganda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Let's just take a few more calls. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so one of the few callers a while back asked the question about whether it is only in black people that the mosquito is able to transmit the disease. So I want to answer the call and tell him that no. I saw a patient who was a visitor and actually was diagnosed with the Zika virus. And she is Caucasian.
Okay, thank you very much. All our lines are going. Let's get a few more of the telephone calls. The doc was supposed to have left at 9, but doc, we have a few extra minutes. Can you? You're at your limit. Okay, she will take only 2 more. Let's just take 2 more callers, and then we'll call it around. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. She said it's 1 out of 5 will show the symptoms of the virus. My question is, how long does the virus remain in the other 4 individuals, and can they transmit it? Because we know the effects of babies. These people who have not shown the symptoms, are they carriers, and can they cause through sexual activity babies to be affected?
So caller, the answer to that question is yes. Even if you do not show the signs and symptoms of Zika virus, if you do have the virus in you, you can transmit it. So the mosquito can simply come and bite you and bite somebody else and transmit the virus in that way. And yes, you can, if you get pregnant, if you're a woman and you get pregnant during that time, up to about 6 to 9 months after you've been initially infected, you can have your baby being affected by the Zika virus. If you're a man, it has been isolated in the semen up to about 6 months after the initial infection. So even if you do not show the signs and symptoms of it, but you indeed have the virus, you can pass it on. I guess that is why we're so, we're trying to caution people in terms of waiting about 6 to 9 months after this whole, if you've been bitten by a mosquito, you don't know whether you have it. It would be better to get tested. But if that is not the case, then it would be better to just abstain or, prevent a pregnancy up to about 9 months after being bitten by mosquitoes.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc. Can we take the last? Okay, she tells me the absolute last call because she has another appointment to go to and patients are waiting on her. So please, quickly with your question for Dr. Mead.
To the panel and to the listening audience, a blessed and peaceful day. Thank you, my black sister, for expressing it the way you did, Cici. And there are more questions than answers. And in school, we learn mosquito stings, but I am hearing mosquito bite. I'm a bit confused, but keep up the program. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mead, thank you. And the final words, because I know you have to leave.
Right. So it's unfortunate that, we have so many different theories that are confusing us. With all the, as we said earlier, warfare and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is that we do have Zika in Dominica, and we have to protect ourselves. So cleaning up around your environment, cleaning up your home, your yards, the gutters in front of your houses, that is important to be able to prevent the population of the mosquitoes. We decrease the population of the mosquitoes, we decrease the amount of transmission of the virus that can actually take place, because really and truly, without the mosquito being so prevalent, then we are able to decrease the spread of the mosquito of the virus, the Zika virus. So it is important, paramount important, prevention, right, as opposed to finding a way to then stop it once it has progressed excessively.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mead. I hope you can come back and spread this very important information. We need to know, we need to protect ourselves, we need to take care of ourselves here in Dominica. And thank you so much for coming in this morning and helping us better understand this deadly, well, not deadly, but this very dangerous virus.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
In your tea, Madam Razad, silte iskino, yali oti doctor, they take 2 tablets every 6 hours. Yali po 6 tablets every 2 hours. Ambulance ki wamasi, iti ga chime. When she recovered yodi from no one, you go to Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. La yoke espiche tout bite bawa. La wive la, idio, you that is Quick Care? Yodi yes, ma'am, Quick Care. Every type of personalized service. It tell me satisfy. La viwe kaili di mawi. I get dependable, knowledgeable, trustable, and supportable service. Ma we di yes, that is a big table. I gade avec di Howard Juju ka fe mwen. If you no honey, go and take your medicine. Yes, Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. Service you can trust for all your prescription and over-the-counter drugs. He can, she can, they all can testify about the professionalism and benefits kote Quick Care Pharmacy. Pour mieux faire un texte, texte c'est Saint Thomas avec dit the medicine by Quick Care delight all my sickness. It evle di delete. Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. Telephone 440-8600.
The show host personalities are ready. The dynamic DJs are ready.
Me ready when you're ready.
Song for song, beat for beat, tit for tat, deba pu deba.
Scrappy the rhythm god. Coming on, worry about them.
Who will be the people's choice? Who will be crowned Q95's best radio music show host and personality? Who will be crowned Dominica's best DJ in 2016? Your guess is as good as ours. You can make a difference in deciding the winners. Have your say every day. Call, text, tweet, vote online on the Q95 website at www.q95da.com. Be at the Harlem Plaza from 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, 30th July. Get there early and win valuable items, gifts, prizes, and shopping vouchers from very generous sponsors. Be a big winner. Only on the big station. Only on Q95.
Here, shoppers, are you ready to shop smart? Well, Springfield Trading brings you S-Smart, a new shopping facility located in the Springfield Trading Complex on Goodwill Road. The smart way to shop is with S-Smart. Come and enjoy one-stop S-Smart shopping and get a large selection of quality products at competitive prices in a comfortable and convenient shopping center with spacious parking. Friendly employees, exceptional service. Flexible shopping hours, 7 days a week with ATM services on site. So be a satisfied, smart shopper.
A satisfied customer.
Visit us today on Goodwill Road and shop smart now.
Smart.
Get prepared for the hurricane season. Store at least 3 days drinking water and food. Stock up on batteries for radios and flashlights. Clear your yard of all tall trees and potentially harmful debris. Fill all important prescriptions and keep important medications secure. Ensure that you fully charge your digital phone and have a fully functional car charger. A message from Digicel and the National Disaster Preparedness Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Tea Madame Cultural Pageant is on Sunday, September 18th, 2016 at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in Scarborough, Toronto from 3 to 6 p.m. Come see Les Tea Belles Fleurs, 8 beautiful young ladies in their lovely wop duets. The Tea Madame Cultural Pageant, Sunday, September 18th. Entertainment, dance, culture, cuisine, all for just $10 for adults and $5 for children. Our cute contestants will thrill you with their style and flair. Come see Les Belles Fleurs, Dominica's own beautiful flowers, at the 2016 Tea Madame Cultural Pageant, Sunday, September 18th, at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center at 888 Progress Avenue, Scarborough in Toronto.
Dominica, get ready for Caribbean Hype. Caribbean Hype 246. 4 flags represented, but it's all about one beer. July 16th, 2016. Newtown Savannah from 5 p.m. till Caribbean Hype 246. On the lineup, Dominica's #1 booyah band, Triple K Global. Triple K Global. Ecstasy Band. Music juggling by DJ Flip the Boss, DJ Slim out of Trinidad. International soca artist Flippo.
Give me a little wine.
Flippo.
That's all I'm asking. Give me a little wine.
Flippo.
And
second star. Second star. DJ Triplin the Voice and Lord Hype out of Barbados. King Admission $45 at the gate, $30 in advance with proof of purchase of 6 Caribbean, $35 without. VIP $130 all inclusive. Sponsored by Smirnoff Electric, Johnny Walker, Ciroc Vodka. Tickets available at Whitchurch main office in Roseau. Contact 255-1120 for more info. Saturday, July 16th, all roads lead to Newtown, Savannah for the Caribbean High. Drinking responsibly is what matters. This all powered by Get a Sound. Partners Flow, Fort Young Hotel, Kyrie FM, Ardent Sound. Ready for Carib High, Carib High, Carib High. See you there.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian, and national athletic coach Emmanuel Oblak. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure, exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Welcome back to the Hot Seat. It's just about 20 past the hour of 9 o'clock. Special thanks going out to Dr. Mead. And earlier we heard from Mr. Wayne Abraham, seismologist, as we are in the hurricane season and we were trying to look at some of the other hazards which faces Dominica. So we'll continue that conversation with Mr. Abraham this afternoon on Talk on the Block. So I know we had lots and lots and lots of questions, and it's something that should concern, obviously, all of us here in Dominica. The fact that the island has 9 of the 16 volcanoes in the Caribbean. The fact that we have the record for the largest explosion, largest volcanic eruption over the last 200,000 years. And the fact that we've been having some serious earthquake activity. And according to Mr. Abraham, over the past few months, we've had at least 12 volcanoes with a not 12 volcanoes, 12 earthquakes with a magnitude of 4.4 and greater. All right, let's go to this call on the line. Good morning. Welcome to the Hot Seat.
Good morning, Dr. Fountain. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, my brother, because the reason why I'm saying that, when you had the doctor on the studio, we wasn't challenging the doctor because we still give us much respect. If it was the other guy you holding on for, you would have hang up on a lot of us already, because we talking about concern about our citizens in the island, what we seeing and reading going on in the outside world. So we're just calling out of concern and we're not challenging the doctor. But I appreciate you giving us our time to speak, because if it was the other guy that you're holding on for, he would have cut many of us out already. So I appreciate you, and I hope somehow you'll be around, I don't know, but however, I'm giving us that time to voice our concern on island. And what I want to say also before I leave, I just want to tell the people that the neem plant is a natural repellent for mosquitoes. The neem plant, whether you bathe with the bush or you make tea with it, or you have it dry, you burn it in your house, it's a natural repellent for mosquitoes. I learned that from a brother that studied over in India. Does neem oil thing. They said neem is something that the mosquitoes just don't hang around. It's something about it. The mosquito stays away from it. Thank you, Dr. Fountain, and may the forces be with you. Thanks, appreciate you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, indeed. And the Dr. Mead understood that that there was different and competing theories going around, and she clearly understood the context in which it was said. And talking about the neem plant, we also know that lemongrass is another very important good repellent in terms of keeping the mosquitoes away. And of course, you have several off-the-shelf repellents that we can get. The important thing that we need to remember is to prevent ourselves from being bitten by this mosquito. So whether or not we disagree or we are not sure as to how it came about, how it happened, the fact of the matter is the Zika virus is there. It is amongst us. It can make us sick. it can actually have an impact on the unborn child, and it is important for us to protect ourselves. And if it means wearing long sleeves, particularly when the mosquitoes come out, about 6 o'clock at night and early mornings, if, wearing the long sleeves, if you slip into with a mosquito net, take of those common sense decisions, and you'll be amply protected. More of your telephone calls. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Yes, good morning.
People should not look at people who call to voice their opinion in different aspects of what they know to think that they are mad or crazy, A lot of us do our research, and a lot of us know exactly what we are talking about when we speak. Take, for instance, we have plenty of the prescribed drugs that they sell in the drugstore have a high percentage of poison in it, yet they sell it to make money on the people. Take, for instance, ginkgo. Ginkgo is used for people who have a memory loss, yet there's a substance in the same ginkgo that causes memory loss. Look, lately they are putting aspartame, which is a deadly poison, in the same carbonated drinks. Those are highly poisoned stuff, and they have it right in the food that we eat and we drink, right in the processed stuff they have it in. So we know what we are talking about, and that is a way of getting rid of the human being. When you know a thing is a poison, take for instance Coca-Cola. A lot of the carbonated drinks, and when Dr. Oz, which is a doctor that has a TV program, called on certain institutions to exempt the poison from the different things that they sell. They said if they take it off, they will not be making money. So he asked them, are you going to kill out the population just to make money? And when he had enough of it and he started to expose them, 5 of the doctors took him to task because he was making people know the awareness of the poison they have in the same stuff that they eat and drink on a daily basis. So when we speak, we know what we are talking about. It's not everybody that does sit and just call the radio and don't know where they're coming from. We do our research and we take in important programs which will generate good health to our bodies. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. This is the hot set. Remember, at 10 o'clock, we'll be having the news update. And at 11 o'clock, it is Easy Rock with Kimberly. We'll be back as well at 1 with another talk on the block. And we'll be continuing our conversation with Mr. Wayne Abraham on a very important hazard facing Dominica. Discussions of volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis.
It's another Doggy Wet Fest this Saturday, July 16 from 10 a.m. on the Humane Society compound to the back of J. Nassif. Bring your furry friend to have fun and mingle. Proceeds go towards a spay and neuter. T-shirts and tote bags will be on sale, along with cold, refreshing drinks. This Saturday, July 16 from 10 a.m. Doggy Wet Fest.
He is nothing if he don't have a
Bring out the entire family and have some great fun at the Q Family First Annual Fun Fest Show and Dance. Saturday, 30th July, Harlem Plaza from 7:30 p.m. Book that date with the versatile First Serenade Band and the popular C Square. I want to shake me bambalam. With Richie Farrell, Cornell P, and Carlene XP. Plus fun-filled competitions and entertainment from 3 of Dominica's top radio music show host personalities. And 3 of the best dynamic high-energy power drive DJs. And also presenting the highly anticipated People's Choice Zook Face-Off Award. Matt Peltier versus Leroy Waddix Charles. Who will win that prestigious award? Will it be Matt? Will it be Waddix? Harlem Plaza on Saturday, 30th July. Book that date only on the big station, only from Q95.
At this time of year, many parents are afraid of back to school because back to school means back to their pockets again. Your children need books, bags, clothes, shoes, even their glasses need to change. Welcome to the Big Edge Financial Express because all loans granted from July 1st to September 9th attracts a big rate reduction, only 2% monthly. Plus, you get a chance to win in the back to school draw. First prize, $1,500 cash plus a $500 grocery hamper. Second prize, $1,000 plus a $300 grocery hamper. Third prize, $500 plus a $100 grocery hamper. Big Edge Financial Express, financing your most cherished moments.
Time to sleep, darling.
Dad, are there any monsters under the bed?
Not while I'm here. You're safe and sound.
Feeling cared for, protected, and secure. It's a feeling that every Massey United Insurance customer knows. After all, they're in the same safe hands, protected by our financial strength, stability, and experience, and cared for by our team. Now, all our customers are even more secure with the sound strength of Massey. It's a great feeling. Massey United Insurance. To learn more, contact our agents, JB Charles and Company Limited at 448-2876, CAM Dupini Inc. at 448-3012, and LA Dupini and Company Limited at 448-2310.
Are you looking to buy your very own vehicle? AutoTrade Limited offers special discounts on all vehicles, new and used. 6% interest rate, 6 months, no interest, no monthly payments for the first 2 months. This promotion runs till August 31st, 2016. Our sales representatives are standing by. Call 613-2496 or 617-2497. AutoTrade Limited is not just a vehicle, it's a relationship.
Welcome back. It's just about 9:30, and talking of auto trade, we have with us in the house this morning, and from Auto Trade. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Fontaine. Good morning. Good morning, Dominica.
It's great to have you, and we're hearing exciting things going on with Auto Trade. You have this big promotion currently on the way.
Correct, Dr. Fontaine. It's great to be back, and it's great, as always, to come and share the good things that we have going on at Auto Trade with the Dominican public. Yes, we do have great things going on. Our 6% interest, 6 months no interest, and 2 months no monthly payment promotion is still on. So our 662 promotion, as I like to call it, is still on. Also, we have some more great bargains on vehicles coming for the month of August. We're expecting at the end of this month some more RAV4s. We had some in June and they went out very quickly. So we brought in some more and they'll be here at the end of July. We want everyone to come in and let's get some more people into those cars at very reasonable prices, and especially with those great interest rates and no interest for a period that is on until the end of August.
So how does this work? You say that you have for 2 months you don't pay, you still pay, but you don't pay interest on those 2 months. For 6 months.
For 6 long months, for half a year, you do not pay any interest.
Okay, so you just service your loan normally without any interest.
You service your loan, but 3 months after you start servicing your loan, because we give you a 2-month grace on your monthly payment also.
Oh, okay. So is that 8 months in all then?
No, it is 6 months.
It is 6 months total. Okay.
6 months total, but
including the grace period.
Including the grace period of no interest. So someone buying a vehicle for the first 6 months, if they have the ability to, they can lower the principal on that vehicle within that 6 months, because after that 6 months, on month 7 is when the interest is going to start accumulating. So if you have the ability to, or the capability of, you just add on to the principal. So by the end of the 6 months, beginning 7th month, the amount that you will be owing on that vehicle will be a lot less than it would have been if you did not make any payments or any lump sum payments towards it. So it benefits you in the end. It shortens your term. It shortens the amount of interest that you'd have paid, even lower again than the 6%. Actually, this morning I was speaking to a customer who was at Auto Trade on the showroom floor. And I was like, but that's great, but if I could just pay it off within the 6 months and I wind up buying a vehicle in cash, but paying over a period of 6 months. And yes, it can work out that way if one is able to do it that way.
And the good thing is that your potential customers can come directly to you for financing. They don't have to go to another financial institution. Auto Trade provides this financing deals to the consumer.
That is correct. And then we finance all of the vehicles that we sell, be it new, be it used. All of the vehicles that we sell, we finance them. You come in, you get qualified, and then we'll give you approval within 2 working days. You have approval.
So within 2 days, you can walk away with your brand new or used vehicle from Auto Trade.
Within 2 days, you will know that you'll be approved.
Okay, but normally it takes how long?
The process to own a vehicle depends on the stage of the vehicle. If it's a new bonded vehicle, it will take you 2 working days. So we call you, yes, Mr. Customer, you have been approved. So 2 days later, day and a half later, you could be driving up in a brand new car.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That is very good. Tell us a little bit more about the kinds of cars that you have available and the vehicles, different type of vehicles that are available to the
So like I said, this promotion runs on all of the vehicles that we sell, brand new or used, like trade-ins or reconditioned from Japan. We right now have a selection of Toyota RAV4s. We have the Nissan Cube. We have a Suzuki Swift. They're very cute little cars. So we have those as used vehicle. The brand new, our lines at Nissan, Suzuki, Kia. So Nissan, we have the Frontiers. Frontiers are the hot things right now. And actually we also have a promotion aside from this promotion running on the Frontiers, where the down payment is reduced on the Frontiers. Okay? We also have the X-Trails, we have the Pathfinder, we have the urban buses. Now that 6% no interest does not run for commercial vehicles. It's only for private vehicles. So persons who want to own their own car for their own private use, for your personal use, then that promotion runs. But for the buses or for any vehicle that's going to be used on a commercial basis, 6% will not apply. That 6%, 6 months and 2 months no payments will not apply. You will have to go through the normal channels as a commercial vehicle. Even though it were to be a RAV4, that is a used vehicle that can be used both for personal and commercial. So say you're buying that RAV to do for tax purposes, because it's then considered commercial, it will not fall into that category of getting that commercial. However, we do have order in place that we can be put in for you. So the interest rate will not be 6%, but it will be less than our standard interest rate and all of that. And there are other back ends that you will get as part of the promotion, because we still have our vouchers that we give out, vouchers for in-store shopping, vouchers. We also have alignments that we give for free, alignments for life, that is still going on. So even if you're buying for commercial use and you're buying what could be considered as a private vehicle, so it's like a car or an SUV that you're going to put into use for commercial, you can also get in on the promotions that we have running.
Okay, talking about qualifying customers, if I were to come in and attempt to purchase a vehicle, do I need to have any cash, or is it that everything can be financed?
Like anywhere in the world, cash is always king. So of course, we see with the cash, we'll smile even more, but we'll smile greatly to assist you with, if you have a trade-in that's going to substitute as your down payment, if you want to just for the down payment, if you want to finance with us, or however it is that you kind of simulate the amounts that is required to do your down payment or full payment for that car, we work with you. All right.
But there is a down payment.
There is a down payment that's required.
That's required
for the promotion. It's a reduced down payment. So there's a reduction in all aspects, basically, of the vehicles, all of the vehicles that we have on promotion right now.
All right, so that is excellent. So you get a reduction in down payment. You get an excellent rate of
interest rate.
6%.
Correct.
And that and then you still get two months. You said no interest.
No, 2 months no payment.
So 2 months no payment. You don't make any
service
payments
loan for 2 months.
Right, and then 6 months you have no interest.
Right, there is no interest.
Wow, that's an amazing deal, and as you said, it's on all vehicles.
On all vehicles
except commercial use. Except commercial use.
For commercial use.
Excellent,
okay?
Excellent.
And then we have more RAVs coming down, so I want people to come down. Just already start getting their things together. Come down so you can come take a look at them. Hopefully within the first week of August, we should have them on our lot.
Oh, excellent.
So we have RAV4s if you use ranging from 2000 to 2011. So there's a vehicle for everybody. All right. And we'll have monthly starting from $599. So just come down and take a look. Let's help you get into one of those vehicles.
Excellent. And can people actually pre-order in the sense that can they tell you, okay, they need a RAV from that year, and they can actually come down today and
of course
and
you
pre-order?
can come down. You can call us. You can call Shivara 617-2497, or you can call Nikolai at 613-2496, or myself at 613-2109. Call us, come down. You can already pre-book one of those vehicles. We can work out what the monthly is for you, what the down payment requirement is, so you can already start putting that in place for when the vehicle actually gets here at the end of the month. Okay.
Yes.
Now also for our commercial partners, our fleet companies, we didn't leave them out. We have them as part of our promotions as well. Right now we have special. Well, not right now. It's going to start in August, and for the entire month of August, all commercial trucks, our Hyundai trucks, because we do Hyundai commercial, there's a no VAT. So for the entire month of August, our commercial partners are able to buy one of the Hyundai trucks with no VAT attached. So it's a VAT-free month for all of our fleet customers. All the business houses in town who requires a refrigerated truck or a dump truck or a cargo type truck, they're able to get that VAT-free for the month of August. So we have that coming up. So we want our listeners, our partners out there to bear those things in mind.
Oh wow, this is excellent. It gets better. Any additional offers that you have for the public?
I have to save some, So there's always, like when you come in, there's always more that we can do for you. Just let us know how it is that we can help you. We are there to do that.
And basically, the vehicles, you have the vehicles on display. The clients can come in, they can touch, they can feel, they can test drive.
Yes. Test drive.
The vehicles.
We promote test drive. Don't be shy to ask for test drive. You come in, you speak to one of the sales representatives. Don't be shy to ask for test drive, because that is one of the things we promote. You sit in the vehicle, you drive the vehicle, then you get to a sense of what the vehicle is like, and if it works for you. It's like you go buy a shoe. You don't buy a shoe without trying it on, right?
Right.
So we promote test drives. You come in, you're interested in a particular vehicle, yes, we'll accept that you can do a test drive.
Yeah, and I'm guessing as you said, the RAVs, that's a big seller, a very good seller, because of their durability, because of the resale value and so on.
That's correct. And the popularity. Everyone wants to have what everyone else, not what everyone else has, but what is in style.
In style, yeah. And also I guess it's better if you have a breakdown, the parts are already available, parts and all the rest of it. So it makes sense.
And we do have parts that you can get. People think that, okay, because Auto Trade is not a Toyota agent, we don't have everything, but we do have the servicing parts that we can do the repairs on the Toyota.
Now, do you only keep parts on the vehicles that you actually sell, or do you have other parts that just general vehicle parts that
well, some parts available for some vehicles are compatible. So some, those who are more technology, they know the mechanical aspect of it. They can tell you, okay, the part from Toyota for that vehicle will fit for the part of the Nissan on that vehicle. So it's a matter of maybe doing some sort of comparisons and finding out. But I cannot tell you, yes, definitely that we stock Honda parts or we stock Mitsubishi parts. No, we don't stock these parts. But some parts can be compatible. So it's just a matter of seeking. But for sure, we do have parts for the vehicles that we sell. The Nissan, Suzuki, Kia, Hyundai, and servicing parts for the Toyota. And we're also able to get the replaceable parts or the parts for the Toyota, because now we are selling them and we need to be able to service or assist our customers in the event that they have any breakdowns or of that any kind.
Okay. Other than the RAV, the Toyota RAV, what are the makes or models you find that people are actually asking about, inquiring about, that's really going quickly?
Well, people who come to Auto Trade and looking for the vehicles that we sell, they would come looking for Nissan, they would come looking for Suzuki. They wouldn't come to Auto Trade looking for one of the other brands that the other dealers sell. So I cannot tell you the majority, because people come, they're looking for, I'm asking about a Nissan, particularly asking about a Suzuki.
Yes. These particular brands. Yeah, because the Toyota and the Nissan brands, these are very, very popular.
They're very popular
and very good in terms of quality.
Correct.
Excellent.
And resale value, and that is one of the things that in buying considerations someone has to look at. You have to look at resale value, because you have an asset that you're going to be having for a few years, hopefully, because not many of us can keep a vehicle for only 3 years and turn it back in. So you have an asset that you're going to keep for 5-8 years. So you want to know at the end of that period, you can get something back. It's not a return on investment, but you can get something back
right.
for it that can get you into another, not something that's totally depleted,
right.
that is of no use to you anymore. And those vehicles are traditionally the type of vehicles that will give you that type of return on your investment. So after 5-8 years, you can still get something substantial for a Nissan or Toyota vehicle.
Okay, now in terms of people wanting to purchase or wanting to take advantage of your deals, other than the telephone numbers, which you will give in a little while again, is there a website that they can go on and look at the vehicles, or do they have to come in person to your site in Canefield?
I'm happy you mentioned that. Right now we're working on our site, and it's going to be an interactive site where customers can see all of our inventory and they can see pricing and everything, and they can just have to call it for more details. But right now there's not a site available that they can do that right now. In the future there will be, very near future also there will be. But you can call the numbers. You can call Shivara at 617-2497. You can call Nikolai at 613-2496, or call me to 613-2109. And we'll be happy to assist. Okay, we can come down through the vehicles. In some cases, depends on the business or how occupied our clients are. We are able to take the vehicle to them if you're around town, or not too far out of town. If you're too busy to come down, we can bring the vehicle to you so you can take a look at it.
And in terms of your hours of operation, how late do you go on a daily basis? And are you open on the weekends?
We open from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon officially. But in some cases, we are there until after 5. I mean, sometimes some people cannot leave work until 4:35. And we can wait for our clients so that they have a fair chance of doing their shopping.
And on the weekends, are you open at all on Saturdays?
Yes, the company is open, like our parts department, but our sales department is not open on a Saturday, unless if we have a booking, an appointment, because we are flexible that way. Someone wants to come in on a Saturday to look at a vehicle or to do a test drive, we are open to that, and we offer that as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Anne. And just to encourage our listeners to go down to Auto Trade for this great offer that continues until when?
Until the end of August.
Until the end of August. So you have a couple months to get into that vehicle of your dream.
Yes. Just get everything together. Come on down, see us, and we'll help you get into that car.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dr. Fontaine. Thank you, Dominica.
Okay.
Are you looking to buy your very own vehicle? Auto Trade Limited offers special discounts on all vehicles, new and used. 6% interest rate, 6 months, no interest, no monthly payments for the first 2 months. This promotion runs till August 31st, 2016. Our sales representatives are standing by. Call 613-2496 or 617-2497. Auto Trade Limited is not just a vehicle, it's a relationship.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Team Madame Cultural Pageant is on Sunday, September 18th, 2016 at the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in Scarborough, Toronto from 3 to 6 p.m. Come see Les T Belle Fleur, 8 beautiful young ladies in their lovely WAP duets. The Team Madame Cultural Pageant, Sunday, September 18th. Entertainment, dance, culture, cuisine, all for just $10 for adults and $5